No, okay, you're going to kill me, but you know, I'm American.
Yeah.
I'm really, really bad in geography. Where is Basilicata?
Where is Basilicata? Basilicata is in the middle, in Puglia, Calabria, and Campania. You know, in the middle
right. So
is Basilicata. Yes.
Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Catch part 2 of Stevie Kim's visit to Elena Fucci in Basilicata and their intimate conversation about Elena's family history, Albanian dialect, and the recent passing of her grandfather, fondly remembered by winemakers all over the south of Italy. Check out the homemade pasta and find out the meaning behind the name Titolo.
Ciao ragazzi, welcome to Italian Wine Podcast, and this is the On the Road edition. We are in Barile. It's in Basilicata with, of course, Elena Fucci. Ciao Elena.
Ciao, ciao,
Come stai?
ciao, bene.
Elena, so where is Barile exactly? Because when we think of Barile, I think of pasta.
No, it's Barilla.
Yeah, but you know, it's close. It's just one
Same, it's same. It's same. It's same.
Word, right? Barile. I'm thinking like, you know, Parma, whatever, but we're in Basilicata. So tell us where we are.
Yeah. Here we are in the part north of Basilicata, on the Mount Vulture. The Mount Vulture is an old volcano extinct, and Barile is my town. It's a small town on the Mount Vulture.
Okay, so and what is kind of the famous, I would say, city close to Barile?
Yeah. Close to Barile, in this part, Basilicata have two provinces, Matera and Potenza. Okay, Potenza is the north part, and now we are in the Potenza province.
Right.
Matera is the south, the part south of Basilicata, and is another part. Barile is near Melfi, for example, and Melfi in the past is a city where lived Federico II di Svevia, most important imperator in South Italy, and we have a castle in his house in the Melfi, and Melfi is most famous. Barile is a very small town. It have a very old origin. It's a Greek origin and Albanian origin.
Albanian.
Yes.
So your family has Albanian region as well?
Yes, because my family is born, my mommy and my daddy born in Barile, and they have all in Barile. Every people have all the origin
From Albania.
See, from Albania. And we speak here a special language is Arbresh.
Is it like a dialect?
Arbresh is like a dialect, but it's another language. It's totally different than
Oh, it's a
dialect.
language.
Yes, it's a language, and it's a Greek and Albania old.
Oh,
language.
you're kidding. So do you speak that as well?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, that's correct.
So I know that, you know, of course, we did a small pasta lesson with your mom and dad today.
Yes.
And that is that an Albanian dish?
See, yes, is a old Albania dish, and the name is Tumac Matulj.
Tumac Matulj. I kept on saying too much, but tell us what we had made. Tumac.
Tumac is the tagliatella, and Matulj
In Abresh.
Yes, in Arbresh, and Matulj is with the bread, with the bread.
Okay, so we made that today. So that's very, very interesting. So listen, Elena, I know that your grandfather passed last week, right?
Yeah.
And was he, how old was he?
95-year-old.
I've seen few producers before getting to you this week, and they know him. They had met him, especially like Gianfranco, Fino, etc., and spoke of course, wonderfully about him. You had a special relationship with him, right?
Yes, because I returned to work with him because my mom and my daddy are a teacher, and when I decided to study viticulture and enology and agronomy, I returned to work with my grandfather in Barile. And my grandfather is a very funny person. He worked in the world, because when he's young, he going in Venezuela, in Caracas, and he work in Caracas, and after work he returned in Italy, and he buy this property where his father working. Okay, it's a very
So this house.
story. This house and the vineyard.
And the
My
vineyard,
great
yeah.
grandfather working here for the big property.
So in a way, I mean, you've started the winery in 2000, but it's really also your grandfather who gave you that possibility, because he bought the land and he started also making some wine, right? Small quantity of wine.
He making a small quantity of wine for the family, but it's a very good wine in the past for the people, because the people know this.
What was
Very
his
good
name?
family wine. Generoso.
Generoso. But he was known as Roso.
Nonno
right?
Roso.
Nonno
Yes.
Roso.
For us, it's Nonno Roso, because when we are children, I and my sister and my cousin, is a very long name, Generoso, for the children, and Nonno Roso is more simple.
So you know, you have two siblings, right? Two sisters.
Yeah.
But they're not in the wine business.
No, I'm oldest. My sister Rossella is a doctor,
And what about your other sister?
the other sister is 10 years
Younger?
and she studied literature, all the literature in Pisa.
I wanted to ask you, this label, can you tell us what this label is all about?
Yeah, the Titolo is our classic wine, and we produce 30,000 bottles with a 6 hectare of vineyard, and only Aglianico del Vulture is Aglianico del Vulture 100%, and with a 6 hectare for our DOCG is possible to produce 60,000 bottles, but we produce exactly half, and because we prune short, select the grapes before and after the harvest, and we work only for the high quality. In the last 6-7 years, we start with a new project, with a special edition of Titolo, and are the label, the different color. And we have the new entry is the Rosé, pink edition, Titolo pink edition. We produce only 900 bottles. After we have amphora, vinification and aging in amphora, and we produce 900 bottles. And after Superiore and Riserva are DOCG, and we produce only 400 bottles. For label. And the last project is the Sceg.
Sceg, completely different, right? So you didn't call it Titolo, why?
Yeah, is another project because in 2016, the fourth friend of my grandfather decided to cut a very old vineyard, 70-year-old vineyard. And I and Andrea decided to working for this vineyard, because for is impossible to work. They are very old, 93, 94, 96-year-old, and for today is not possible to work in vineyard. I and Andrea working the vineyard for and with a grape we produce another wine. Sceg in our language, in our dialect, Arbrecht, is a pomegranate, and is a symbolic in Italy is a reborn, symbolic of reborn, and exactly this wine is a reborn for this old vineyard, and we with the old vineyard with this grape we produce a wine for the young generation, for the young people. It's a little bit smart.
So and how many bottles are you doing of that?
400 and half.
Yeah, so 400 and 900 seems to be your magic number in a way, right? How did you come up with this logo?
The logo is my name, E and F.
So the E, the horizontal lines.
Lines is E and two line is F.
Aha. Okay.
And
then you have this like thing going on the wings. What is that?
because we with my father, in 2000 when I start, we think a label, and after we think a logo, and only E and F for my father. Not is good.
It wasn't enough.
Simple,
yes, it was too simple.
Yes. With a pen, he write a hills, 2 hills.
Oh, 2 hills.
And are the terrace, the vines, the terrace. You see the terrace of the in the hills.
Okay. So during COVID, how did you live COVID? Like 2000, and you're a small winery. And I believe your wines are not sold in supermarkets. So I know the ones who had access to GDOs in Italy and elsewhere, they've actually done very, very well during COVID because people drank wine like crazy, right? That was 20. 21, I do believe the premium wines like yourself perform better than the year before. But how did COVID affect your commercial success? But also, how did you cope with COVID in general?
In 2020, changing completely the approach with the client, because I present the new vintage and the new project, for example, Amphora or Rosato. I present on internet, on Zoom or on internet. Is a different.
So you did online tasting with yours,
and after they order directly the wine, and
but that's international clients or Italian clients?
We start with this work for the Italian clients because we have more order for the private client, not restaurant, not
from COVID.
And we start with Italy. After 2-3 months, the export importer, they call me and they think, oh Elena, it's possible for you to explain the wine and the private client because they have the wine, but the day is very long because we start with a Zoom, with a diretta Instagram or in the morning, in 9 o'clock, and I finish in the night because in the USA is different times. Yes, and it's a very hard work, but strange, but for me it's very, very funny because for me it's possible to know the final client.
Right.
And usually this not is possible because they are in the other part of the world. And
so how many visitors do you have? Like, how does it work? They go on your website and they reserve online. How long does the visit last? Because you have a very skinny, small structure. Who's organizing all the tours and the wine tasting and all of that stuff.
The tour starts with a tour in the vineyard, after the new cellar and after the old cellar, and finish with the testing in the testing room, and during 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. And it's possible to only with a reservation. Is important, yes.
What are some of the big wines, more famous wines that you can think of to say, if you like that wine, you should try Aglianico del Vulture? I think they were very smart, because they said, if you like Pinot Noir, you know, from Burgundy, you should try Etna. I know they're different, but if you like that kind of style, then you should try.
I love Nebbiolo grapes.
Right.
And, I love, for example, I'm best fan of Barolo, and my husband is best fan of Barbaresco, for example. And for the Aglianico and the Aglianico in Basilicata and in the Campania, for me is more difficult to share, because usually when I'm in the restaurant in Italy or I don't drink Aglianico, I don't drink my wine, I don't drink Aglianico del Vulture. When I'm in the USA, in Canada, in the other part of the world, where is on the
wine list,
the wine from Basilicata, I shared from always. And, it's more difficult for me to have one model of Aglianico, because I work I work for the wine modern, but not modernist, and for me is most difficult to think Aglianico only for the tradition or traditional wine, because I think the Aglianico in the last 10 years increase in the production, and the medium quality is the high level. But I think probably the population in the Basilicata and in Campania, they think more at the traditional methods. I think today is the moment to drink Aglianico del Vulture. Is Aglianico or Aglianico del Vulture is impossible to wait 20, 25 years before drink the wine. It's important to produce a wine in the modernist mood, but it's important to drink the wine. It's impossible today, I think. This is my personal opinion.
What would you recommend in terms of food with your different wines?
Yes, I think the Titolo Classic is better for the lamb, the baccalà.
Baccalà?
Yes. Here is most famous the baccalà la carrettiera with a peperone crusco. The peperone crusco is a crunch pepper.
Okay.
And sweet pepper.
So not spicy.
No spicy, no. We dressing under the sun these peppers in the August, and after in the winter we fry in the olive oil. Sorry, in the olive oil, the sweet peppers, and these are like chips. Like chips.
Okay, I'm a little surprised about baccalà. I'm going to try that. Okay, that's a wrap, and that's Italian Wine Podcast on the road edition with Elena Fucci in Barile, not Barilla, from in Basilicata. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and listen to Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your pods.